Hey yo, what up guys? This is QB from Chopper Express here to bring you another OP04 leader. We are down to our final two. Today we are going to go over Doflamingo, and then hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to bring you the Decklist that I personally would have took it to Knoxville if things didn't come up for me in my personal life. So today just talking about Doflamingo. Like I said, if you watch the tier list, it's probably one of my two picks for the event. I just think that the linear playstyle plus it doesn't need to adjust to what the meta could be. It kind of just tries to stick to its game plan and win that way. Some of the text inside the deck come from the event aspect of the deck, but basically the first almost 40, what's that, 4, 8, 12, probably the first 38 cards of the deck are almost basically the same. 37 I guess, because it kind of depends on ratios for guild and maybe 2K, and then some people play the 4/6 vanillas or Usopp or Brook. There's a whole bunch of different decks you can play, but I think the first essentially the first 35 cards are probably just all pretty similar between the lists. It's gonna be just a difference in ratio. What I think this deck kind of succeeds in doing is building out card advantage. So really what it wants to do is to play Nami on either 4 mana or on 3, and then let her basically take trades onto other minions. So could be basically due to the fact that every time she takes a trade, she's essentially a +2. You get a card, your opponent loses a card or a minion. So she's able to just kind of build that advantage for you in the game. And then so you get to your Dawn 7 turn where you just play Luffy into Uda. And I think it kind of just tries to dominate the game in that aspect. Like I said, I think it's just a top 2 pick going into Knoxville. I would say that is probably my pick to win. I just think it's also just kind of the popularity. A lot of these matchups typically feel close to 50-50 outside of a few. I think the Queen matchup and Rebecca specifically are kind of the counters to the deck. I know a lot of crocodiles are going around, but I mean, I think that deck's kind of you can have a matchup against it, and I think you get the room to swing good numbers into other people's leaders. So let's go ahead and just go through the list. First off, let's go over the Dofa leader. Basically what it does is pretty simple. End of your turn, set up to two of your downs active. That lets you play a lot more. That lets a lot of your counter power actually be the events. Also, one thing you want to watch out for when you're kind of playing this deck is I'll say one of the cons is because all your counter powers events, there are sometimes you can kind of get dumped for your hand because your opponent will swing big and force the 2 Dawn to be used, and after 2 Dawn is used, they can kind of swing differently because sometimes you can assume that 1 or 2 cards in their hand are bricks, whether it be the Dofi, Luffy, or events once they're tapped out. So pretty simple leader effect. We decided to play 4 Chopper, Film, 2K. Like I said, when I talk about most lists where we play searchers, try and max out on the 2K counter for that specific searcher. I think that's just good deck building in a sense. It's just part of what makes the cards really good. Film Nami, probably the best part of the deck. I'm going to talk about the good things and the bad things. So one of the good things, I guess not to say good, one of the things that you want to do against the deck is you really want to be able to clear this card. I think you also want to be careful how you clear this card. Yes, you want to commit the 2 to your leader to try and swing over it, but sometimes some people are playing Union Armada. If you swing 6, sometimes that's too low because they'll just restand. If you swing 7, but you still gotta burn through those events. But typically you just want to be able to have removal. So I think while this deck is a part of the meta, you want to just make sure that you have as much removal as possible, or playing a deck that has the ability to remove. Some of the cards it searches. It searches the Monkey D. Luffy. This is your 7 Dawn play. Lets you cheat out Uto, which is basically cheating out 11 Dawn for the turn. Sorry about that. 11 Dawn for the turn. 4 Sugar, new card OP04. Basically what she does is she says once your opponent's turn, when they summon a minion, as long as your leader is Don Quixote Pirates, she allows you to rest herself and then rest any minion on the board. Just make sure when you're playing against this card, she can rest any minion, not the minion that's summoned. So you just want to make sure you're respecting that aspect of her. But she's one of those where if they don't clear, then it kind of she just gets so much value. I think one of the other things that she does is kind of broken is that basically going on turn 2, she basically almost skips your opponent's turn essentially at that point. And then she's also just one of the better top decks in the deck. Is basically back in probably set 1 or set 2 if y'all played during there, where we had Nakamushi and Izo. So she gets to rest anything. So a lot of times when I've been playing, to be honest, she's been the best top deck because I'll have a board, and then it's okay, rip Sugar, Dexino, rest the minion, and swing for game. We're playing Diamante. This is one of the things that I guess Mark kind of theoried out for the most part. I think a lot of us were playing Queen at one point, but I think we felt like Diamante gives you better value, especially because if Yellow's going to be one of the better decks, it gives you ability to swing 7 and then still restand and still block. We think that's pretty important, so you get to swing a good number and then restand, while if you're playing Queen, the benefits for Queen is like filtering your hand so that you have as much count power as possible, and you're more likely able to find those missing pieces in order to make your deck function. But we're kind of aggressive in taking life, so I think we don't really need that ability as much. But I guess just to go over the card real quick, since we'll be going around, it's a blocker, 5-6k plus 1k power, Don Quixote Pirate. One has Don 1 under it. At the end of your turn, if you have 2 active Don, then you're allowed to restand it. With the Dofi leader, basically for 1 Don, it always restands to swing 7. So, card's really strong. This is probably what makes the green. Probably what makes it kind of like broken is Don Quixote Doflamingo. What this card does is a 10/10 on play. A total of up to 3 of your opponent's rested characters or leaders do not become active to your opponent's next refresh phase. So basically, if your opponent disrespects this card, doesn't see it coming, or doesn't play around it effectively, then you effectively get to just rest 3 cards, and then they don't. That's how you kind of like swing the board back. You can swing the board back in your favor because now you have a 10/10, and if you can either go for game and swing for life, or you're just able to trade off the board the next turn. And like most 10 drops, when you stack multiple together, the cards are just really, really broken. Shiki, just another 2k film counter, searchable off Nami, so that's what it's good for. Uta, in combination with Luffy, this is your how you cheat out for 11 Dawn. Blocker, Dawn -1, rest of 5k, so probably the power play in the mid game for you. Cards just strong. Guild, I'm only playing 3. Just for the non-cat, it's just I think you only really need to see 1. I think when you play 4, you start seeing multiple, and it's not one of those cards where you just see it in bunches and be like, okay, things are fine. You kind of want to get, you just like the way the game goes, you just want to be able to get other cards down, so this ends up sitting in your hand when you draw multiple. So I only play 3. 4, Buena Fiesta. I didn't really much to say about the cards. 2k counter on summon, basically look at top 5, get a film card. Only time I really ever summon this card is when my hand is just really bad, it's not mapped that well, and if I'm going first and I need to map out for either Nami or Guild in order to build myself those mid turns. For my events, I'm choosing to play Paradise Waterfall in this list, and I think it's kind of strong. I know it's only, I think the fact that it's only for 1 Dawn, it kind of helps, and people don't really see it coming. I think the trigger effect is really why I kind of wanted it in my deck. You could play 4 Spiderweb, but I think having the diversifying for that trigger effect is kind of important when the yellow deck is the big deck that we're theorizing is going to be one of the popular decks at Knoxville. So I decided to play Paradise Waterfall. I know Mark is playing Union Armada right now, but I just think this one kind of does the same thing as playing another Spiderweb, and then you don't have to leave up 4, you can just leave up 3, and you still gotta get that value that you're looking for. And if your opponent kind of swings half-heartedly trying to mitigate the value that the 4 plus 4Ks will get, then this card gets more immense value because you're able to block with Diamante, then restand it, and you're still only using 1 card, and this card now is getting max value out of itself. 4 Punk Gibson, 4 Thunder Bragua. I kind of think these are just mandatory 4-0s so far. I don't really believe that there's better events than these for their respective colors. I know some people test Judgment of Hell because it gets basically -6k, but I think the negative Dawn effects, you kind of just want to limit them down to Guild and Utah, just because of the fact that if you play too many, then you kind of get, it kind of gets to a point where you're just not developing the game into getting to your 10 Dawn turns, and if you're not doing that, then I felt like the deck really wasn't doing it. You're not really getting to the power play, which is Dofi. And then my last event that I played was 2 Spiderwebs. It's just a plus 4k Paradise Waterfall, but its trigger is get 2k to your leader instead of popping a rest of 4 or less. I think these 2 are pretty broken just for the restanding ability, so those are the ones I went with. But let's just get some games in. I'll kind of talk through kind of like where I see Dofi being in the meta as well, and how we can best trying to play it going into the new meta. So I would say that Dofi plays a lot of matchups pretty even in my opinion. First off, I think we're gonna go second in this matchup. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna go second in this matchup. Really just looking for Nami. If we can get Nami on 3, I think it's really broke. I think that would be really good for us. Unfortunately, we didn't. And basically, looking at her hand, she's the only thing that's really missing from this curve right now. So we're going to go ahead and pass back. He grabbed a Uta. So the only thing that sucks is he's going to be able to play his Uta first, but he's playing his Buena Fiesta, so he's basically giving up his 2k counters. We're going to eat this first damage. We're just trying to find Nami. He did not attack me. Okay. So next turn, Nami's coming down, so I'll go ahead and attack for 5. Not really trying to do anything too crazy, and then I'll play Uta. Like I said, we're probably going to end up taking the damage this turn. Like, I'm okay taking this. We're going to 6. He's going to play either its 5 cost or Nami. But he decides to play Nami. This match, if we don't see like Nami or Guild or Diamante in the next turn, then we're kind of going to be slightly far behind. And we're just going to try and navigate the game in that sense. Finds Chopper, so he finds a 2k counter, which is good. We found Gil, which is really good for us. We need to play around. I don't really need to play around anything. I don't want to rest my Uta, so I'm going to go ahead and just swing 6. Like I said when I was talking about the deck earlier, you don't really want to like have rested 5ks against Nami. It's just a +2 every single time, so I'm just going to do the Uta play for now. And then again, I think I'm looking at probably taking another damage here just because I'm trying to find a piece to go with my Luffy. He decides not to tap, so it means he wants to play his Luffy this turn. Luffy Uta, so now I gotta figure out what's the best way to go about playing into that. I'm gonna go ahead and take this one. We'll keep this. I think we'll need it later. No point in resting one of these, and then we're going to counter out of this. I kind of want to take it, I'm not gonna lie. We're going to 8. 8 is going to be like 5 here, 7 here, maybe even 5 here. He's going to play Uta. But I think we still don't have a card to go with our Luffy, so I'm going to just take this. And that's fine. We have Uta now. So I'm gonna go ahead and I don't want my guy to get rested. I really do actually. I'm not drawing 2 cards this turn actually, so I don't think I mind if it gets rested. So we'll go ahead and swing 5 at the Nami. Kind of see if we can force the Uta to block and then he'll rest, which is like okay. In my opinion, we weren't really planning on using his turn. For its effect, he lets the Uta die. And I'm going to go ahead and play this and play my own Uta. I really just want to try and get to a point where basically this next turn I want to try and set up my Doflamingo to be kind of powerful. I want him to try and commit to clearing the Tesoro, which I think this card is like slightly worse when they have to put Dawn on it in order for it to do something. I just don't think you get the same value that you're looking for. Swing 7 in my leader. I kind of misplayed. I think I could have drawn 2 cards and then played Bogwood probably. Yeah, it's true. Gonna see if I can get the bait on this card. Just get him to swing slightly bigger. Get him to swing his Luffy into it. If we can try and get Luffy to swing into something, then we can kind of try and get value in that way. He decides to play Brook and do nothing, which is a fair play. We're gonna go ahead and swing 5 into this. Like I said, we're just gonna try and bait the Luffy. We're gonna see what we can do. Unfortunately, this does leave me open a spider web, which is what happens. But I'm also okay with that too. I mean, there's nothing. I don't think there's really anything we can do. He's going into Dawn 9. I kind of want to be aggressive with my Utas in a sense. which I think I will. I think I'll be aggressive with 1 to see if I can get the bait. Oh, he actually didn't stand. He didn't do any of that actually. So let's think. So he's really trying to play around the 10 dropped a lot. And he's basically saying he's okay, like... So I have 4, 4... I kinda wanna leave up... Draw 2... I'm gonna try to be aggressive here. He's going into 10. I'll take it slow. Take it slow here. We have the Uta, so whatever swings, we get to Uta something away. Or not Uta something away, but we get to Uta something and do value that way. We're at 8 Dawn, we'll go to 7 Dawn. As long as we play Bogwa this turn, we can go back to 10 Dawn. So he should, we're trying to, and I guess right now what I'm thinking is, we're trying to force him to be the first person to rest this shit, or rest his stuff, sorry. So if he rests, he can't really like afford to swing, or he can afford to swing, but like swinging in this scenario, gives us value. So we just take this value right here, and if he wants to try to keep establishing, then we can keep just like throwing the bait that is so it's 8 Dawn. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just play the Bagua to push us back to going into 10 Dawn. And so now we're going to 10 Dawn, which is still really important. He's going to play another Luffy. He's going to play Uta. Like I said, I'm cool with this right now. He has 6 cards. I think we go ahead and just Dofi him right now. I think this is the best the Dofi value we'll get. So we'll freeze these 3. And so what we can do is, I think drawing 2 cards is still fine. If we draw 2, he'll block with Uta, and then he can Uta switch this and draw. It happens every single time, so we eventually have to get rid of the cards. So we can either decide to be super aggressive and swing with everything and just say, hey, you don't have enough attackers to deal with that, which is also an option. I'm going to go ahead and start with swing 6. Might pass. Think I'm going to pass. I'll just pass. I think I'm just trying to make sure his Doflamingo doesn't get immense value before mine gets a swing on everything. So the next turn, what I'm thinking right now is, if he can't really swing, he has to like just play cards. So it almost like, with that, since I don't attack, it kind of feels like he has to pass his turn, and that's kind of what I was looking for, because there's nothing for him to do. So how can we get good value off of this? Because he can't attack. We could do this. I really want to draw 2 cards. And I kind of want to play this, which I think I will. We have another Nami. I'm going to go ahead and play this to shrink the Uta. And this is mostly just to like keep the Uta from getting the value that it's looking for in my mind. I will go to... There is the chance that he's playing that card, but I think if he is, that just means we just try to get this swing in. We'll go ahead and attack the Nami. Then we'll go ahead and draw 2 more cards. We got a sugar. I'm cool with this. Like I said, the Nami's just the most important thing. How do I want to do this now? I think we're committing with everything into this Nami. He wants to do that so he can rest this, which is fine. He's thinking about if he wants to keep it. He decided to. I'll go ahead and swing into the Uta now. So we just have to try and protect our board as much as possible. He could try to kill us. I would probably go for game, to be honest. Yeah, I think we could have played a little bit better. I didn't see the counter lethal right here. Or I didn't think about it. Oh, never mind. He's checking board. I don't want to give up for that. My thing is, like, if I give up anything, then, like... I think my problem is if I give up anything, then, like, he just goes for game because I'm losing cards. I think I need all my cards in order to not let game happen. We have a Luffy, so we have Luffy Uda. Not too sure how we win this game, to be honest. Especially through 2 life. The only good thing is, I mean, the only thing that we can really do is hopefully he tries to slow roll the game just because he's scared of losing to that. Pretty sure this is his last attack. So I'm going to go ahead and just pitch. I think I'm going to pitch Chopper. I think Sugar's the only way we can kind of like... I'm going to go ahead and pitch 2 2Ks. I think Sugar might be the only way that we can kind of sneak in the game shot. Try this again. We gotta try. I think we have to just try to clear the board if we can. Shoot, it may be a scenario where I think this card has to go. Sure, Paradise Waterfall isn't bad. Another Spiderweb would hurt. Looks like it's just Blast Breath. Oh, don't Judgment Hill. So that in my leader, sure. I think we swing 7 here. This Uda's like the most important thing, to be honest. This card's kind of the one that like dictates the rest of the game. This is just kind of frustrating because I don't want to put too much dawn onto stuff. But I think I should be going to 11 on certain stuff. I guess this is one of the things that I like about this deck list, this deck in general, and playing the mirror. Like, although I feel like you could argue that like I'm kind of like getting outplayed or something like that. I do feel as if it's been a really back and forth game. I kind of want to take this. I think my win con is maybe forcing him into a bait, but he picked up another Uda, which is gonna be kind of annoying. Actually, no, it's not, because we're just gonna shrink it. Let's just take it and see what happens. Gonna rest on the Luffy. And there's potential for us to kill him. We have 4 attackers, so we'll see what he decides to do. I think we are almost to the point where I think we can clear every card. I think we can almost clear the board now. Basically, he can't summon anything. Summons anything, everything else gets rested, so he's kind of playing with the board he has. And then kind of like putting too much dawn on some stuff, I feel like it will put him in a worse scenario. I think maybe there's like a world where I think we can come back and win this one, but I think it'll depend on it'll really depend on us really wrapping up this board over this next turn. I think that's probably the best thing we can do, is try and wrap up this board. I think right now he's just trying to get a couple 2Ks out, set up for 2 events, which I think is really smart on his end. So basically I want to say we have 3 dawn to work with. What I want to do is clear as much of this as I can. So I guess we first start with this, because it's the first thing that gets a dawn. This swings at the Nami. The thing about the sugars, right now we're keeping him from playing another card. He plays another Hell's Judgment of Hell, I guess, which is kind of keeping us at bay. So I shrink those 2, but he didn't shrink the Diamante, which is interesting. I guess maybe he's thinking about using another counter for it. I don't really care about the Brook. I care about getting rid of these Luffys. So now we still have 2 blockers. I want to say we can play a monster. This is fine. This is 3. I will go ahead and swing 5 at this, just because I plan on playing my Luffy. I know one of his cards is Uta, so he's gonna pitch the Uta. I think we go ahead and just put 2. No, because he has this thing. We could tribute this, summon these, and then it's not like he's playing a Mega anytime soon. Maybe we just do both. Like, what minion can he play that I really care about at this point? I think at this point I just want to make sure that I don't die. Which means that my Paradise won't be live, but I think my Paradise, I just need blockers, because he has to go for game. So I'll go ahead and definitely tributing one of the sugars. The question is, what are we playing on top of? If I play over the top of this, I think this sets us up the best. I'll play it like this, see what happens. I think one of the cards that beats us is like Dofi. I'll probably auto-skip to Dofi, but we shall see. So we'll see. It looks like he's going for game now, which I'm okay with. We have 4 blockers. You just need to make sure one of the blockers survives. This is 9. I have 2. I have 9, 11. I would pitch 2. It's probably not the right play, but it's whatever. Now we're just kind of just saying, hey, you're not killing us through 4 blockers. We do have no more counter power though, so we will just have to actually take blocks, unfortunately. So if he goes swing 3, then we take 3 blocks, and then we have to just go for game. So he can just swing 7s and just win like that. And that's probably the unfortunate part. I think I just should have left that one more Dawn. So that's gonna die. Does he have another blocker? No. It should have been Diamante, sorry. Because we're pushing for game no matter what. I think we're just going to try and math it. So he's going to go ahead and press like this. I'm going to go ahead and just block here. And we have to kill him. So this is just 9. So I want to swing minions first. Swing 9. Swing 11. And these have to all be counter powers. It has to be a card. I'm not sure what card would help, but. And we win. It was good. It was close, but I think this kind of just shows how, like, I want to say skillful. I would say they, you know, I drew pretty well, and we were able to get this into a long game and a grind game. But I think it kind of shows what the Dofi that can really do. And just to get back into the list, I know today I can only get 1 game in, y'all. I apologize for that. I try to do 2 games, but I felt like the game kind of goes longer than I expected. And I can't. It's kind of hard for me to do more than that. Last thoughts. Like I said, I think it's my top pick going into Knoxville. I think that if you really enjoy grinding, I want to say grinding games, but like the playstyle is somewhat linear, but a lot of the skill in the deck comes from trading, understanding where you are in the game state, how to plan your turns out a few turns ahead, so that you can make your 10 drops live and things of that nature. And so I think it's just probably one of the top 3 leaders going into this new set, going into OP04. First off, thank you all for showing such support. I think we're up to 90 subscribers now. We are almost to 100. Please like, comment, subscribe. I really enjoy making these type of content for y'all, and I look forward to continuing to do this. And hopefully, this also just helps me to continue to test, continue to learn new decks, figure out what they're trying to do. So hopefully, I can start bringing y'all that top cut footage of me showing you some of my deck profiles that I play in some of the online regionals. And thank you. Just thank you for tuning in. All right, stay safe. Peace.